Hi, we want to welcome you to this Facebook discussion on returning to school. And we know that a lot of kids are getting back in the classroom and they've been out through this pandemic. And things are a little different this year. So let me introduce myself. My name is Ron Van Turen, and I'm a division director at Seven County Services in the Child and Family area. And I work a lot with schools. And I'm pleased to be here with my colleague, Courtney.
Hello, thanks, Ron, and I just want to welcome everyone today, and thank you for allowing us the opportunity to talk to you guys about, the return to school. And again, my name is Courtney Potts. I'm the unit manager, and I work closely with Ron and with the school-based division. And we serve numerous schools across the region, and our therapists are placed inside of the schools, directly serving clients that are in need of support, and hopes to help them be successful in the classroom, which will also hopefully bleed into the community and at home and have a partner in their success. So we kind of wanted to talk to you guys today just a little bit about what the return to school is looking like. And we know there's a lot of anxiety and fears and questions in regards to the Delta variant, and that we realize that the school year is looking a little bit different and the landscape looks different. And we just wanted to share some resources with you today and some things to be mindful of with your children. And so we hope that you all find this helpful today.
And we partner with our schools to really help kids maximize their education. And this is no different. We did it during the pandemic and used telehealth a lot. But now things are changing as we return back to school. So we want to talk to you a little bit about some of the emotions your kids may experience. And emotions can be a complicated thing. They're very normal, but this is a situation that's both new and it's familiar. But it's also unusual because they've been out of school for such a long time. So your kids will have expectations about what school might be like, and some of those expectations may be true, but some of them may be very surprising and it may look a lot different. So some of the emotions you may see is like fear, anxiety, excitement, anticipation, and all of that's kind of normal. However, what we want to talk about a little bit is if those emotions are extreme and you see kids that are just panicked about going back to school, those are the things we really want to pay attention to as parents. Courtney, what are some of the things you're seeing? I know your staff have been back in the schools, especially at our Western Day Treatment Program.
So I think it's really important to note, that we serve, just as Ron said, across the region in Jefferson County, counties such as Bullitt and Spencer. And, some of our schools, our alternative settings, we are seeing behaviors a little bit quicker than what we would in another school. And those are most of your kids in the county. So we expect that. Western Day Treatment is an alternative program, and it is a day treatment program. So these kids have gone year round, so we've been able to help them be successful and serve them therapeutically and educationally over the summer as well. So, these kids have a lot of anxiety, emotional outbursts, behavioral difficulties, and so our therapists are helping them hands-on in the classroom and in the office, giving them tools and resources to be as successful as possible. With the traditional return to school this year, though it's very early, I think it's safe to say that that there is still a honeymoon phase, and it's very soon, but we know what to expect and to look for. For some of our students returning, this is the first time that they've been back in the classroom 5 days in a year and a half. And so I think that's really important to note. Our kids did return last March, and they were only in school for 2 days a week. And so a lot of this is very, very different, when you're thinking about pre-pandemic. And so kids are returning thinking that it's going to look one way and having that excitement of going back to school 5 days a week. And then, some of their expectations may have turned out differently. So, just being very mindful of that as a parent and or a guardian, And so I'm going to give you some things to just be mindful about and look for. Again, I think it's still early for us to get a pulse on. And so, but I also think early intervention is the best for chance for success. So the quicker that you as a parent or guardian can notice some of these things and advocate for your child to have services, gives everyone the best chance for success.
You might think, well, what are some of the things I should be looking for at home? Because these are routines that are changing and they've been off, for the year and for the summer. So if you see your child has difficulty sleeping, things like lack of appetite, lack of interest in things that previously were just enjoyable, or they're unusually agitated, anger outbursts, crying, showing any signs of panic. Those are things that are not normal, and they could interfere with your child having a smooth entry back into the school. So some of the things that we tell parents is, first of all, we want you to adopt an attitude of open communication. It's okay for your child to talk, and we want you as parents to provide a safe atmosphere for your child to express those feelings, but also to talk about the things that are really underlying those. So to do that, you really want to listen actively and just exercise a lot of patience, because this is an unusual time and we're all going through some changes. What else, Courtney?
I think it's also very important to note, what is your baseline? What is your child's baseline? And what is a normal behavior that you're used to seeing from your child that is possibly changing and or different? So, like Ron mentioned, these anger outbursts, are they in context and appropriate for the situation that is occurring? Or is it something new and different and more extreme than what you're used to seeing from your child? And so I think that's really important. It is normal to be anxious right now, but I think the level and degree of that anxiousness is something to be really mindful of. So, if you're noticing them withdrawing from things that they would normally find, entertaining or exciting, or that they're used to participating in, and there's a lot of withdrawal from that, like Ron said, eating patterns, sleeping patterns. But I also think it's very important to know what is your baseline and what has changed. And sometimes that requires, some journaling on the parent's part, and so they can really get a handle on, how much has things changed in the last month. And the other thing I think is important to talk about is just as a parent and guardian is modeling for our children what we want to see.
Mm-hmm.
So children are so intuitive to what is going on around them and modeling that. And so, regarding the mask mandates in the school, whether parents are in support or not in support of it, it is something that the kids are required to do, whether there's unless there's an exemption. But I think children emulate what they see and hear from their parents and or guardians. And so the more positive that we as parents and or guardians can be, I think that children will also take on those attitudes and feelings, thoughts, and emotions. And so that's just something to keep in mind, regardless of what our own personal feelings may be, to just model those appropriate behaviors for our kids.
That's so true. I mean, kids watch us and learn from us all the time, whether we, model good behavior or some problematic behavior. So it's always good to keep that in mind, that they're watching and learning from us, and they will model what we do. I talked about keeping that open channel of communication with your child, and that's certainly important. But one other thing we'd recommend is that you open a channel of communication with your school. And schools are here really to help facilitate the entry back to classroom instruction. And so one of the things you can do is get on the website, and all of the school safety protocols and the COVID response that they're having should be on their website, and you can learn a lot that way. And it can help you let your child know what to expect when they get there. Things like, what are some of the safety protocols on the bus? Things in transportation that they may not have thought about. So you can open that channel of communication with the school. And if you have questions and you're not learning everything from what they've posted on the website, call your school every school has someone that is very well informed on this, and they can certainly talk to you and ease your concerns. So open that channel of communication with your school.
And with that being said, if you're noticing some of these things in your child and or your student, um, it's really important, again, that early intervention piece and stepping in, sooner than later and listening to our gut. And, when we're noticing changes in our children, to be responsive to that, like Ron said, making sure that there's an open line of communication, that trust is developed, that they feel safe. And then, those children that may need some additional support, that is what we are here at Seven County School-Based Services. So if you think that your child may need some extra support, please reach out to your school. We have therapists placed in almost all of the JCPS schools and in other counties as well. And so some of the things that our therapist can help your child with are things like, providing individual therapy. So one-on-one therapy at the school. They can provide supports to the student to help them be successful in the classroom, give them coping skills. And so the nice thing about that is that we get to see those successes of them utilizing those skills in school, in the environment that they're struggling in. And so it's really a unique situation as opposed to, other services. And the other thing that our therapists can provide is working with the school personnel. So the counselors, the teachers, the staff there, and exchanging information that would be helpful, things that they're utilizing and teaching in the session, so that can also be carried over into the classroom. And so, our therapists have a very open line of communication with their school personnel, and it is very much a team effort in helping your child be successful.
And I would just emphasize that in closing here. Our staff are really trained to be partners. They're partners with you as a parent. They're partner with your child to help them maximize their educational opportunities. They're partners with their school educators as well to really remove whatever barriers may be interfering with the ability to learn. So we hope you found this very helpful and useful. And again, think about us as you have needs and resources. We're Seven County Services and we're school-based services. Thank you.
Thank you.